Okay guys, we're back on the project again. We're going to work on installing this intake, the cam sink distributor, these gaskets and stuff. Hey! Quiet on set! Quiet on set! Oh, that's right. I'm working by myself today. Let's get this thing done. Okay guys, the first thing we got to do is remove these bolts off the old intake. Get this pulled off, and then we'll end up cleaning all these gaskets up and stuff. So let's work on that and go from there. Okay, let's buzz off the rest of these bolts. Drop everything down into the engine. Where the distributor goes. That would not be good. Now what we gotta do is see if we can get something right there to pry this thing off. Okay, what I did over here is I took my razor blade and cut the silicone around there. And after I did that, I took this putty knife, get a good shot of this, stuck it in here. See my putty knife going in there? Just to loosen it up a little bit. Then I came back, and there's some good pry points over here. Took my little pry bar, and you can see it now. It's finally come loose. I couldn't do that with the front because of the engine plate, but it's loose. Let's get her off, clean her up, and get the new one on. See if we can pull this thing up. She's still pretty stubborn. Oh yeah. Apply it just a little bit more. She's stuck today. I'm gonna make sure I'm not hitting my valve covers. Okay. It would probably help if I take this last bolt out too. Oh. Now I'll try prying it real gently. Oh, here it comes. It's like peeling off an old scab. Just gotta work it back and forth. Just like I said, an old scab. Here it comes. Okay. Here's what the bottom looks like. Now next we gotta clean all this gasket material off. This over here, get it all nice. It's pretty clean actually. But yeah, in the front here too. And then lay another bead of silicone over here. But this is what the inside looks like. So a solid lifter cam. So a roller lifter cam actually. But yeah, let's get all this stuff cleaned up here. What I usually do, guys, I usually lay something in the lifter valley. Get more garbage in there. Kind of put something in there quick. As long as it's clean. Don't be putting any dirty shop rags or something in there. Or your old dirty underwear. Nothing's worse than getting grime or turds in your engine. And this is kind of what I use to get the material off. And what I'm doing here, guys, is actually taking this and pushing it, garbage off the back side of the block. I'm really trying not to get stuff like pushing it down. The less that you put down here, the less you get it clean. And this is super sharp. I'm trying to just gouge it up with the blade. I'm trying to be super careful. Oh, this comes out pretty good actually. Oh, yeah. You can still reuse these yet. These are good. What I do is I use these for like fishing for bass. See how nice this wiggles? Oh yeah, the bass love this stuff. Look at that. Why buy bait, guys? Just use your old silicone, keep it and put a hook through it. And here you are, fishy, 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 fishy. Yeah, I wonder what Derek's doing from Vice Grip Garage. This one's stuck a little more. There we go. Like it says, these are great for. These are look at the way this one jiggles. Great for fishing. So what I do here, guys, I take a rag, I take some brake clean, and I squirt on a rag first. I don't squirt it on a rail, whatever, an engine. You don't need that garbage, so I just kind of put a dab in there. Just like that. And pretty much I start rubbing it off, if you know what I mean. Sometimes just gotta rub it off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, just rub it off. Actually, it kind of sounds kind of dirty. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing, Paul? Well, I'm kind of busy rubbing it off, so get this all cleaned up. Look how pretty that is. Go through here a little bit. Anyways, that's what I do. Anyways, now time to lay down the gasket. Okay, this gasket that I'm using is a 1206. Just in case you guys want to know. There's one more helpful tip that I do is sometimes I kind of pre-install the bolts just to make sure that we don't run into problems when we set the gasket in. Yes, it's gonna pick it up just a little bit. Another thing what I do is I check the gap here. Hang on, I'll pull this all off and I'll show you what I do here, guys. Okay, another helpful tip is what I'm gonna do here is this is the front of the block. I'll lay a bead of silicone in here. Look at the corners real good. What I do is I check kind of how big that gap is so I don't go too crazy on the silicone or not enough, so I kind of check it over. That's one of my secrets. Okay, we're gonna compare both intakes here. This is a Super Victor, and this is a Super Victor 2. Obviously this one here, the runners are way bigger. You see that for sure. And the height wise, it's across it, and it's I would say about an inch taller. But yeah, that was the comparison, both of them here. The plenum's bigger than this one. But yeah, Super Victor 2 for a small block Chevy. And there is the part number, and the part number for the Super Victor is right here. So at least you guys know. See, this is what I do for installing the gasket. We'll put this gasket on the block side, but what I do is I go around, put a little film of silicone on here. This is actually where the water ports are on the ends here. I might put a dab here and there in the center, just to kind of hold in place. And then we'll let it cure, and then we'll drop down the intake then. So here we go. Yeah. Some sturdy much. This is just kind of hold it in place. Oh, just like that. Another other side here. What I'm doing here is just putting a nice thin film of silicone on there. So when I do put it on, I put it over here too a little bit. Here. These I don't smear up too much. But when I put it on a head, it kind of stays in place. Kind of make a nice. And I felt something in there. For some reason, a little piece of dirt. It's craziness. But look, that's another good reason to kind of take your finger and kind of go over it. Just make sure there's nothing like in it. That was weird what I found in there. A little piece of dirt or something. And if it wasn't, if I just laid it on there, that piece of dirt would probably held it up. Let's put this on the car. So what I'm looking for here is actually everything to line up in the ports and in between here, this port, and I make sure that it will actually, I guess we'll go down just a touch. There we go. Now let this sit here for, I don't know, probably 20 minutes. It should stay in here. This stuff only takes about an hour. We'll go down a little bit more with this one here. Yep, just like that. All the holes look good. Gasket look good. Like so, we got to put silicone here and across the rail here. Let's put the other one on. Okay. Okay, guys. Whoopsie. So what I do is I kind of take my finger and kind of make everything kind of symmetrical. Looks decent. I kind of squeeze it between each rib. It looks real good. I'm gonna let this tack up or firm up, whatever you gotta do. It's tacky already. So when I put the intake down, it doesn't like slime around and move around and stuff. But yeah, give it some time. Like, so just take your time doing this stuff. If you're in a hurry, the thing is, it's not gonna turn out the way you want it to. Okay, the gasket's set up here. Should slide around. Pretty stout. Now we gotta start putting on the silicone. Kind of shooting for this corner in here. Kind of like ease in there. This one has a pretty thick gap in between the block and the intake, so I'm kind of putting it kind of heavy. Let's drop intake in. This part always makes me kind of nervous. I don't know why it just does. I might have to put some more silicone. Okay, right now I'm checking the ports. It looks like it's lined up pretty damn good. I'm gonna start putting in the screws. Or bolts. Go from there. I got all the bolts started. Now I'm kind of just getting them in place here and cinching them down. Kind of get them all even. I work from the middle and work my way out. And I did check how good the runners are and how straight everything is, so Everything lines up good inside. I peeked in here. I don't think you guys need to see any more of this part, but I'll turn it back on. And I get everything all torqued and stuff. Okay guys, everything bolted and torqued down. I'll have to get some plugs for these. Some of the plugs came with the intake, but yeah, it turned out pretty good. You can see it, if you can see it, it oozed out just enough. Just enough. Not a lot, but just enough. And this other side, yeah, turned out pretty cool. I'll have to give you the name of the guy that installed the fuel rails and stuff and welded the bungs in for the fuel injectors. I'll be right back. Okay, this is the place where I got my fuel rails put in and the injectors and stuff onto this intake. His name is Heath, like in Heath Bar. And I'm from Wisconsin, so this is the number you can get a hold of him and stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions about intakes and stuff, he does fabrication work too. Give him a call. Okay, we got the cam sync distributor in. Make sure you lube up the gear before you drop it in. I'm gonna have to go through a setup with this for you guys so you'll know how to actually set it up with the cam and crank sensor. And that'll probably be the next video. So yeah, pretty cool, huh? Thanks guys for watching my video. There's more to come. The Pro Charge small block Chevy here. We're probably gonna work on the valve covers, the throttle body, and trying to get the parts for the rear end, but that's impossible. I found out that they don't make a spool for this one rear end. So the old crap is going back in. Next year, probably order a different rear end. But stay tuned, there's more to come.